Most men misunderstand female attraction because they expect women to express interest the same way men usually do. Men often look for obvious signals, direct flirting, or clear verbal confirmation. But attraction for women usually appears much more subtly through emotional awareness, positioning, body language, and energy. Because of this, many men completely miss signs that women are genuinely interested in them. They assume attraction would always be loud and undeniable, when in reality it often starts quietly. A woman may feel deeply curious about a man long before she openly shows it directly. Understanding this changes everything, because once you recognize subtle attraction patterns, dating starts making far more emotional and psychological sense naturally. One of the strongest attraction signs women show is lingering eye contact. Most men completely dismiss this because they convince themselves it meant nothing. But psychologically, repeated eye contact reveals emotional awareness and curiosity. A woman may briefly lock eyes with you, look away, then look back again moments later. That second look matters far more than men realize. Women often use eye contact as a quiet emotional invitation instead of direct pursuit. Attraction for women frequently begins through observation first. She notices your energy, your presence, and whether you noticed her too. Many men assume women would approach more aggressively if interested, but women usually signal attraction subtly before ever opening conversations directly or emotionally. Another major sign of attraction is proximity. Women often place themselves near men they feel emotionally curious about without openly announcing interest. She chooses a seat beside you, joins conversations you are already part of, or repeatedly appears in spaces where interaction can happen naturally. Most men dismiss this as coincidence, but psychologically, proximity matters deeply in attraction. Human beings naturally move closer to people they feel emotionally comfortable around. Women, especially, use positioning as a safer way to create connection opportunities without risking obvious rejection. Attraction often begins through repeated emotional familiarity. A woman who consistently places herself inside your environment is usually hoping interaction develops naturally without needing to aggressively force attention or pursue openly. Women are also highly attracted to masculine presence, though many men misunderstand what presence actually means. Presence is not loud dominance, showing off, or constantly demanding attention. Real presence is emotional groundedness. It is the calm energy of a man fully comfortable within himself and fully engaged in the moment around him. Women notice this immediately because emotional stability feels safe psychologically. A man constantly seeking approval, overperforming socially, or trying too hard often creates emotional tension instead of attraction. But a calm man who speaks naturally, listens attentively, and does not emotionally chase validation creates a completely different emotional atmosphere. That grounded energy quietly communicates confidence, strength, and emotional security without needing dramatic performance at all. One subtle but powerful attraction sign is when a woman remembers small details about you that most people would normally forget. She brings up something you mentioned casually weeks earlier, remembers your preferences, or checks on situations you briefly talked about before. Psychologically, this means her attention has become emotionally invested in you. People naturally remember details connected to emotional importance. This is why intentional listening creates such strong attraction psychologically. Women feel deeply connected to men who make them feel seen and genuinely heard. A man who remembers details calmly without forcing it communicates emotional care naturally. Many men underestimate this completely, but emotional recognition often creates stronger attraction than expensive gestures or dramatic romantic performances ever could. Women who feel attracted to you also tend to initiate small forms of contact without obvious reasons. She sends random messages, shares a song, reacts to your stories, or finds little excuses to continue interaction. The content itself is usually not the important part psychologically. The real meaning is that you crossed her mind emotionally and she wanted connection. Attraction often grows through repeated emotional attention over time. This is why emotional challenge matters as well. Women are naturally drawn toward men who maintain their own identity instead of instantly becoming emotionally dependent. A man who calmly holds his own opinions, standards, and emotional balance creates attraction because he feels grounded rather than desperate for approval or constant validation emotionally. Another strong sign of attraction is mirroring. This happens when a woman unconsciously begins matching your body language, tone, energy, or speaking rhythm during interactions. If you lean back, she slowly leans back too. If your voice softens, her tone often softens naturally as well. Psychologically, mirroring reflects emotional comfort and nervous system alignment. Human beings instinctively mirror people they feel emotionally connected to because it creates subconscious bonding and familiarity. Women especially mirror men who make them feel emotionally safe and relaxed. This is why calm masculine energy becomes so attractive. A grounded man often causes emotional relaxation around him naturally, and women unconsciously begin syncing their behavior and body language with his emotional rhythm over time. Compliments can also reveal attraction, especially when they focus on your energy instead of only your appearance. A woman saying you are calm, easy to talk to, emotionally comforting, or different from other men carries deep psychological meaning. Women rarely compliment emotional presence unless they genuinely feel something emotionally around you. Attraction for women often develops through emotional safety and comfort first, before becoming openly romantic. This is why many highly attractive men underestimate themselves completely. They assume attraction only comes from looks, money, or status, while ignoring how strongly women respond to emotional experience. A man who creates peace, emotional warmth, and calmness around women often becomes far more attractive than he personally realizes himself. Repeated glances are another major attraction signal women give quietly. You may catch her looking at you across the room multiple times before she quickly looks away. Most men instantly convince themselves they imagined it, but psychologically, people naturally observe what emotionally interests them. Women often study men they feel drawn toward before openly interacting. They watch confidence, social behavior, emotional energy, and presence first. Attraction for women frequently begins through observation before direct action. Another important sign is nervousness. Women do not always become smoother around men they genuinely like. Sometimes they laugh more, stumble over words, tease awkwardly, or suddenly become quieter. Attraction creates emotional pressure too, and nervousness often reveals that your opinion matters emotionally far more than she once openly revealed. Most men spend years believing women were never interested in them, simply because attraction did not appear dramatically enough for them to recognize it. But female attraction usually develops much more quietly through observation, emotional awareness, comfort, curiosity, and subtle behavioral signals, long before direct words are spoken. Once you understand these signs, your entire perspective on dating changes naturally. You stop chasing validation obsessively because you realize attraction often starts earlier than most men think. Women signal first, then observe your confidence, emotional stability, awareness, and presence before opening up further emotionally. Understanding this helps men become calmer, more observant, and emotionally intelligent, instead of constantly doubting themselves whenever attraction appears softly instead of loudly. Do well to subscribe because you are important.